Today is not May 1st, it's May 2nd, but we started the notes yesterday on May 1st. We're doing surface area of prisms and cylinders. Before we get to the problem in question, make sure you understand the three vocabulary words and the two formulas that I gave you in 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh no! I never gave you the surface area of a cylinder, did I? But I never gave you the formula for the surface area of a cylinder. How many of you are calculating the cylinder with the surface area of a prism? Silly, silly, silly. How many of you knew that you didn't have the information you needed, at least from me? Okay, so it's not all that much different, but we'll get to that in a moment. The surface area of a prism, actually we did. I just want to discuss number 5, which is in your notes. This is already done. We use the surface area of a prism, which is 2 times the area of the base, capital B, plus F, and F represents the lateral faces. And in order to calculate F, you would take the perimeter of one of the bases and multiply it by the height of the prism. When you do all of that, like you see here in number 5, you end up with 204 units. That was number 5. Number 6, you can't do unless you know the surface area formula. Well, you actually maybe could, but unless you know the surface area of a cylinder formula, you would have a hard time with it. Did anybody actually go out and find it on the Google? Ashwin, what do you got? And what'd you get? What is the surface area of a cylinder? So the surface area equals 2 times the area of the base, correct? Plus a capital L. I bet, based upon your information earlier on, with especially the vocabulary and understanding also the surface area of a prism, I bet you somebody in here could tell me what L, capital L, stands for. Again, now that you know what a capital F stands for, can you tell me what a capital L stands for? Jasmine?
Lateral surface.
The lateral surface. And what is the definition of the lateral surface?
The curved surface of a cylinder that connects the bases.
The curved surface of the cylinder that connects the bases. So it would be, think of a pop can, it would be not the bottom and not the top, but it would be the circular part of the pop can that goes from the base to the base, correct? So with that being stated, can somebody break down what capital L probably would be, knowing what capital F represents in a prism? Can somebody break down what a capital L would be? So we know capital L, we know that it represents what, Jasmine?
Lateral surface.
The lateral surface, but how do you calculate the lateral surface then? Catherine? The circumference times the height. So let's do the surface area of a cylinder in a more of a breakdown mode here. Break it down. 2 times, what would be, how would you calculate the area of the base? Catherine? Pi r squared, because we're doing the area of the base, right? So it would be 2 times pi r squared. And then Catherine, you said the lateral surface would be what again? Circumference times the height. So what is the circumference of one of the bases, right?
Yeah.
And what is the circumference of one of the bases? What's the formula for circumference of a base or circumference of a circle? Pi times d times height. So check out your formula here. The surface area of a cylinder would be 2 pi r squared plus pi d h. Correct? Questions on that? Does it matter that we don't know the diameter, or at least we're not given the diameter? Because what do we have? We got the radius. So another way of saying pi dh, if we only know the radius, would be what? So Edie? 2 pi rh, because the diameter is really just twice the radius, right? So we can go either way, but we'll just stick with this. So back to our problem then. Let's do a plug-in and let's do an answer as I asked you to do for number 6. Can somebody give me the information using the surface area formula for a cylinder? Go for it, Jasmine.
So you want us to write the
I want you to show me everything that you're doing in your plugin. So this is the long version. This is the short version. Obviously, if you're going to do everything in the plugin, you're going to be using that or plugging in the numbers for that. So this is the one that I would definitely know. However, when it comes to the test, because you have to have all these memorized, if you can just memorize 2b plus L for the surface area of a cylinder, you should know how to calculate B, the area of the base, because you know how to calculate the area of circles, and L for lateral surface, you know how to calculate the perimeter or the circumference of a circle. So to me, both formulas are beneficial in their own way. So what is your plugin? Go.
2 and
Yep.
then parentheses.
Yep.
Pi r squared.
Pi.
To start with the.
What's R squared?
R squared would be the rate. Oh, 4 squared.
4 squared. Awesome.
Plus.
Plus
Pi.
pi.
2r. I mean, sorry, 2 times 4.
2 times 4, which is going to be,
2 and then 4 in parentheses.
well, can we just call it the diameter at 8?
Oh yeah.
Either way, you could go 2 times 4, or we can just call it 8.
Oh yeah. And then 6.
6. All right. Now, all I really need you to do from this point forward is give me an answer. But as I said, if I was to look at all of the kids who show me more rather than less, their scores are going to be higher. So doing all of that math, Jasmine, what is 2 times pi times 4 squared? So 16 times 2 times pi. 3.14 is pi in this classroom.
148 tenths.
148
Tenths.
tenths?
I'm sorry, hundredths.
So 0.148?
0.1.
2 times 3.14 times 16 is a decimal? Less than 1?
No, 148 hundredths.
What? 148 hundredths?
100 and
100 and, gotcha. Sorry.
48 hundredths.
Is that exact? 100.48? Okay. If you had a long decimal, would you have to use that in your answer? What if it was 100.44999 and kept on going? Could you use that number, or would you have to use that number? Yes or no? You have to. But since it's rounded, let's write it down. Or since it's not rounded, since it's exact, what is it again?
100.40.
0.48. Plus, can you tell me what pi times 8 times 6 is? So 48 times 3.14. 150.72? Excuse me, 150.72 is exact? Okay, so can I actually write that down if I wanted to? Do you have to? You don't have to. I would if I were you, but you don't have to. And then Jasmine, what is our total surface area of this particular cylinder?
251 and 2 tenths.
And our label is?
Oh, units.
Units.
Sorry, inches.
Or not units, inches. And what is our label on that?
Square.
Because we're
Cubed.
inches cubed. We're doing volume or we're doing area?
Oh, it's squared.
Squared. Be careful. I remember last year when I graded the final test on this, I had a lot of check marks on labels because we were confused between volume and we were confused between area and we were confused between just simple perimeter, which doesn't have a square or a cube on it. Questions on number 6. I want to stop this because the video is long. Jasmine, or Charlotte, I mean.
Well, when you gave us the other formula, I plugged the English we got into the Prism formula, and I got the same equation.
So I'm guessing when you use P times H, you just converted P into circumference? Because circumference is perimeter, and you multiplied by H, same thing, yeah. So technically, I guess you could have made it to work as long as you were realizing what you were technically doing. But there is a difference between a lateral surface and a lateral face. Lateral surface is one, lateral faces are multiple.
Okay.
What, ma'am?
For 5, you forgot the square.
For 5, we forgot the square, and I was waiting until someone pointed that out to me. Thank you. I was waiting to see who was on top of that. Bonus point for you. Piece of fruit for you. Get one right now.